guys? Welcome to Junie Lyon Williams Adventures. I'm William. We appreciate you checking in with us today. We have a subject that we wanted to talk about just for a little while. And we talked about this subject a while back, but we thought we'd cover it again. We want to talk about May-December relationships. Talking about a foreigner that's older, in his 60s, maybe 70s, and a Filipina that's from 20 to 35, let's say. Let's talk about it, guys. Remember, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you're not a member, go ahead and become a member of our channel. It has its own perks. So we just want to talk about that for a little while. I've had some subscribers that have recently come over to meet their LDR, their long distance relationship, that they've been talking to for a while, guys. And some of them are here now, and they're in different places. They're meeting with their LDR. Others are still coming over. And so we thought we'd talk about this for just a little while. May-December romances. What's the success rate? What does success look like? Somebody said, how can an older man that's in his late 60s or early 60s, even into his 70s, what do they have in common with a Filipina that's 25, 24, 23, some even a little younger, or even in their early 30s? Well, let's discuss it. I think that usually when a foreigner, remember, anybody that's not a Filipino that comes to the Philippines is considered a foreigner. Doesn't matter your color of your skin, doesn't matter your nationality. You're one of two things in the Philippines. You are either a Filipino or you're a foreigner. Therefore, most of us that I'm talking to in these relationships are foreigners. So let's say that you're 65, you're 66 or above. Maybe some of you are a little younger than that. But for today's discussion, we'll talk about in the 60s up into the 70s. You've been talking to a girl that's in her 20s or early 30s. And you've decided to meet her. You've decided to be in a relationship where you're going to visit her at some point. Let's talk about the pros and cons of a May-December relationship. I myself have been married for about 6 months, 7 months with the girl that was my LDR, my wife, Junie Lee. We were in a relationship for 4 years before we got married here in the Philippines in August. We met online, and we met 3 times in person. We got engaged after about 3 years, and the relationship has been successful thus far. Some of the pros, let's talk about from the foreigner, the older man's point of view. What's the perks of having this older man? Well, what do we bring to the table, guys? We bring experience. We bring life experience. A lot of us have done well financially. Some of us have, some of us have not. Some of us come with Social Security checks and pensions. Others come with lots of savings. Some were widowed. Some maybe were divorced. And for whatever reason, you couldn't find the person that you wanted in the United States or in Canada, in the West in general. And so you started, for whatever reason, looking at Asian websites. You found a girl, you started talking to her, and you either are with her now or you intend to be with her in the future. So you bring money to the table, right, guys? Most of the Asian women that you're talking to online don't have a lot of money. Even the ones that are working, they make very limited money compared to what we make in the West. It might take them all week, all month, to make $200 to $400, maybe $500 US in a month. Some of you make that in a day. So the money is very unequal. So you're bringing financial security to the table. You're bringing experience. Maybe that Filipina has a child or two. Maybe she doesn't have any. Remember, that the most important thing that you're bringing is financial stability, life experience, and just the new culture and a sense of excitement to the Filipina that maybe hasn't been outside of her immediate province or city, maybe ever. So here you come on a giant plane in the sky, and you literally drop out of the sky with financial stability. You drop out of the sky with all this experience, and in their mind, a whole lot of security. So that's what we're bringing to the table, guys. But we also bring with us some negative points. Unless you took good care of your health, you bring health issues. And remember, the Philippines is not like the U.S. The ambulance system is not the same. The hospital system is not the same. Medicare does not work here. So you're bringing liabilities with health, more than likely if you're over 60. You're probably taking medication of some sort. If you're lucky, maybe you're not. Maybe you have diabetes or high blood pressure, so you have to keep up with that here in the Philippines. There are health plans here you can purchase if you have the financial means. So maybe you have a big savings. Maybe you have emergency funds set up. Maybe all you have is a limited amount of savings, but you have a decent monthly income. That means a lot to a Filipina that has maybe never had security financially. So it's obvious that we're bringing these things to the table. But remember, there's a lot of difference in life culture here, guys. So what about the Filipino? What are we getting in return? Well, you're getting youth. You're getting, more than likely, 75 to 80% of all the Filipinos I've seen are very attractive. And even the ones that wouldn't be attractive here would be attractive in the U.S. So let's say, for the sake of argument, most of them are very attractive. But we also understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Right, guys? So in these May-December romances, what does success look like? Well, from being married and being in a relationship with my wife, Junie Lee, I found out, hey, just by osmosis, guys, they're younger than us. They're going to want to do a little bit more than we want to do. Sometimes all we want to do is relax, watch TV, maybe take a little walk around the block, go out and eat a little bit. But sometimes they want to go out with their family. They want to do certain things. So there's trade-offs. Number one, you have to find a Filipina that has as much character and moral stability as she does beauty. Because beauty is only skin deep, as the song says. So you have to get one that you can trust, basically, with your life, if you intend to live here. Because if something happened, an emergency came up, the only thing that stands between you and disaster would be that Filipina that you're in a relationship with. So you have to make sure that she's morally stable, that you've made her financially stable, but that she's totally trustable. So they're bringing youth to the table. They're bringing you their good looks. They're going to take care of you. They're going to cook. They're going to wash your clothes. They're going to look out for everything that has to do with you because you are their security blanket. So therefore, they're going to make sure that the best way that they can take care of you, they're going to do it. So now you've hit the fountain of youth. You feel like you feel younger just by being around this young woman. Maybe she has a child and that you haven't raised the child in years. Your children are grown. Like I have a daughter that's grown. So being around a younger child, in this case, my wife's child's 5 years old, makes you feel younger to be around somebody that young again and to experience that all over again for those of us that don't mind a child with the Filipina bringing that to the table. So they bring youth. They bring invigoration. Let's not even talk about the sex life. We all know we're adults here. They're bringing that sex life, and it's a beautiful woman. You know that she's going to excite you to see somebody that beautiful downstairs cooking breakfast in the morning. Somebody sitting in a two-piece bathing suit on the beach with you. You might have to pinch yourself and so that you don't wake up and think you were dreaming, guys. So remember, there are trade-offs in this May-December relationship. But what are the downsides? Well, the downsides are, remember, she's going to still want to spend time around her family. Maybe there's times that you don't really want the family around, but yet they're coming around at certain times anyway, guys. They're going to do that. If you go on a vacation, they're going to want to know why they can't go also sometimes. So you have to make sure that you've chose the right Filipina that is able to tell her family that some of her time belongs to you. Because no matter how you slice it, guys, her family is going to come first in some capacity. And you're going to be a second. Even though she's going to take as good a care of you as she can, that family's still going to be number uno in her mind. So these are some of the trade-offs. Remember, that child's going to need to go to school, so there's going to be financial support if there's a child. She's going to want you to do things with her, not just sit around the house, guys. She's going to want you to go to the mall and go out to different events to eat, and you're going to want to do some of them things. But being in our 60s, there's times you're not going to want to go. This is where you're going to have to understand that you can't go everywhere she goes, nor would you want to after you're here for a while. So the trade-offs, it really comes down to, can you trust your Filipina? Well, I think that the trade-offs are worth it. I think that the May-December relationships can work. You have to go into it with open eyes. Remember, everybody, a lot of your friends back in the West are going to say, what are you going over there with your old self with that young woman? And you just went over there to take advantage of some Filipina girl that was down and out. Well, guess what? They're not wallflowers, guys. The narrative that they're quiet and don't say anything is not true. I'm living with a Filipina, and they speak their mind, guys. They tell you what they're thinking. Only difference is they're doing it mannerly. They're not going to cuss you out, but they're going to tell you what their opinion of any situation you're talking about is, guys. So yes, there's trade-offs in this May-December young and old relationship. Remember, just by the fact that you're in your 60s, or some of you in your 70s, you're not going to be able to do everything she does. You're not going to be able to go walk around in that hot sun and go to some of the places she wants to go. So you're going to be satisfied to not go everywhere she goes. You have to pace yourself. You have to be able to keep up, but there's going to be enough places that you can go and enough good times that you can have that can make it successful if you let it be successful. Remember, Filipinas are very jealous. And remember, foreign men are in demand over here. So there's going to be other Filipinas looking at you. Every time your Filipina turns her head, there's going to be another one that's just as pretty, if not more pretty, looking at you. So it really comes down to the fact, what kind of integrity are you bringing to the table? Did you come over here for one woman, or did you come over here for many women? Guys, if you came over for many women, that's fine. But don't settle down with one and make her life bad. So we have to also remember what we're bringing to the table. What character are we bringing to the table, as well as what character are we looking for? So these are just some of the things that I thought I'd touch on for some of the guys that are coming over here to meet their LDR. Guys, if you're thinking about retiring here and this is like an exploratory trip, remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to get to know your Filipina in one trip here. It's going to happen over time. It's going to happen over you really getting to know each other. She's more than a pretty face. She's not a doll, guys. She's a living, breathing person. And all of us, there's not anybody breathing that doesn't have faults. So remember, not only see the good things, but take an honest look at the bad. And long as there's no deal breakers that you can't live with, then it's a possibility that it can be successful. But remember, it's two cultures merging, guys. So these are some of the things, but we can't touch them all in this video, but we'll come back another time and I'll bring my wife, Junie Lai, on, and we'll talk about some of the other things from the Filipina woman's point of view. But give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment. Tell us what's going on with your relationship. Some of you guys that have came over here already, some that I've talked to online. How's it going? How is your trip so far? Let us know. We'd like to hear from you. This is William at Junie Lai and Williams Adventures. Until next time, remember, enjoy every day because tomorrow's not promised. Remember, guys, comment. Tell us what you think about these May-December romances and what does success look like in a May-December romance.